Welcome to this series for new players for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. In this part, I want to do two things. First thing is we're going to need to move in a new population into our town here. Then the second part, we're going to talk about setting up the oil refinery and more importantly, getting our heating plant up and running as well. And that probably leads into the first thing that you need to always consider when you're going to populate a new town, when you've got seasons enabled, is you want to do it in the middle of the summer. This is not a job for autumn or going into winter, because you need to get your town up and stable and functioning before the winter comes in and you actually need heating. Now, the other thing you also need to do when you're going to populate a new town is you need to go around and check your buildings for loyalty settings. Now, our average loyalty at the moment is 75, but what I would suggest is that you don't go all out, you just go there. Also, the other thing you need to do is reduce the population down in buildings that are not quite so important. That one probably could come down as well, because the first thing you're going to need to do is, in fact, I'm probably going to increase the population in there, is you need to make sure that your workforce gets into the key services from the beginning. So we're going to need to come down to about there. And same with the school, we probably won't get that many children in. And the kindergarten, I think we will leave, no, maybe we'll shave a little bit of population off of that. The reason I'm doing this is to make sure that we get the staff to the key buildings like the shop. The pool, probably drop you down to half. And of course we've got, what I've already done is put in the fire trucks, because of course we need the fire coverage. Just make sure. For some reason this is real curse, these things are. So this is the thing. So this is what you need to focus on when you're going to move people into a new town. Now there are now the simplest way to populate a new town is just to click on individual buildings and then just import the immigrants if you've got money. What I've been doing is allowing the over 21s to build up. So we've got 635 over 21. So we've got 635 willing volunteers over in our new town who want to come over to here. So the first thing we're going to need to do is move them in. And the other thing I've also done is I've turned off this, because the last thing you want is 635 over 21s flowing into your town here. That may seem the best solution, but the problem then is you're storing up potential trouble for the future, because all those 635 over 21s will be not far over 25. And what you would do is create a population bulge in here that when they all start to die, then you have problems with excess deaths in the town, which could affect your overall productivity. So what you want to do for your initial population move-in is to come over here, and what we're going to be doing is looking for unemployed yesterday. So we got a few unemployment hotspots, especially over here. What you want to do is pick up a few people like this. And what we're going to do is we're going to drain away a few people. The other overlay that you can also check is, well, let's just move these out of the way. Actually, I'll move them over here. Now, this may seem a little bit over the top, but it does work, guys. The other thing is you can look for concentrations of over 21s. So what you're going to be doing is pulling away experienced people from your old town, and then your over 21s will start to flow into there. And what we're going to do is move here. Now, relocating citizens will upset them. Now, the block we want to start with, we're going to kind of start moving in people from here like this. We'll probably just move in, relocate. Whoops. And what we'll do is this block is now full. What you want to do is try not to fill the blocks in. Just let the population, whoops, I've just emptied that one, that's okay. So what you're doing at the moment is just spreading the risk a little bit. We need probably need some workers over here as well. I'll put them into there, and then and what I'm doing is just spreading the population around a little bit, so that I'll just let the game run flow, because we need our workforce into here, and then we're just put a few more into these larger blocks. And then if we kind of come up to here, so you can see, and then if we just let the game run, what you'll find is that we should pull in, we're getting workers spread across all this here. So we're getting a kind of core of workers in here, and then we'll just let the game settle down again, and then we're going to pull a few more. It will affect your overall loyalty, but that's not a bigger problem. And we're just going to come back over here, and we'll just see what the overall kind of population is here. And of course we will be disturbing our economy over here. You can see we've still got people flowing into this one. That's okay. Pick up a few from there, and we'll just pick up a few more, and then we'll let the over 21s flow in. So we've still got 383 over 21s, so just pick up a few more. And by doing it this way, I know it appears cumbersome, but it spreads that load a little bit, and so we'll just kind of let them over 21s flow in. And of course we got a message, someone saying over 21s are unhappy. Yeah, because what's happening is that we've got food in here, but of course it takes them a little while to settle down, and probably put a few more shoppers on there. And if you get a problem with not being able to feed the population, what we can do now is start to let in some of the over 21s into this area now, so we can start letting them flow in. So I think we've got the population down low enough. And what I'm doing is allowing them to move into this block here, so that basically, right, we're down to about 152 now. And what that will do is ensure that the people here are getting food. Now, the next thing we're going to need to do is get a few police cars. Probably don't need that number of secret police at the moment, because the population of our town isn't that big. So we'll just get a few of those in there. Let's make sure that we're getting a few people in the fire station, and more importantly, we're getting people in here. And I've set the loyalty at 70%. At the moment, we can't see the loyalty, because of course our secret police haven't gone out and done the necessary, but we're okay. Now, there's one building which I haven't built yet so far in the game, because it's not exactly the most useful building, but it's a building that you can use when you are putting in here. To be honest, I'm not even sure where it is actually. It's actually the city accounting office, this thing here. And what you can do is just add it here, like is it? And what this does is build this in here. I'm just going to auto build it. Now this is an information building, so it's not a building that you really want to put high on your priority list. And what this does is, once you've got a certain number of workers in here, it will tell you about the state of your town. So for example, if we come in here, build this, and eventually you'll get people come in here, and what this does is it gives you the equivalent of your overview here, but as I say, what you do need is enough people in here to actually trigger it. So there's not enough account. There we are. So it's now triggered. What this does is it gives you an overview of your population. So at the moment, our actual population inside the city area. Now, of course, the city area is as defined by this here. Is the actual area. I can't show it to you. Actually, I don't know if it actually shows you the range. But what it does is it starts to give you the stats and information from what we got here. Now, the next thing we've got to do is, before we get the oil refinery up and running, is we need a couple of buses. Was it? We'll go for speed, I think. Speed buses. There we are. We've got. Actually, let's go for speed. You're the fastest. We get 1, 2, 3 of those. And of course, what we're going to do is send the workers to the heating plant, because the heating plant has to take priority over the oil refinery. So we'll just come in here. We'll just go directly. We've got no end station, but it come into here. Come there. And we'll just run those loose, because we do need that kind of burst. Now, if for some reason your population isn't big enough, which technically for this town, 600, a population of around 626 probably isn't enough, especially as the fact I want to push this forward a little bit and get workers. And what we could do is, once we get the bus set, what you can do then is start to bring in some extra workers. So I'll check the school. Yeah, we could probably reduce the school a little bit, because we have brought in a young population. So all you do then is choose one of these apartment blocks, probably this one's like that. And then what you can do is bring in immigrants from the Soviet bloc. I would not recommend. Oh, we could probably bring in a couple of third world immigrants as well. Bring in 20 of those. And what that will do is just keep building up our population. We've got things there. And once you've got the population in, you just need to let things settle down and the overall happiness stabilize before you start doing anything else. You can see that the happiness has recovered, except for this block here. Probably because there's only 20 people in it. And if you look at the overall happiness like that, so generally it's pretty high, except for this block here. And probably the reason for that is the fact that you've only got 20. And there's probably, if we look at the population very, very quickly, yeah, we got a few people in here. So what we could do is just invite some more. And you can see that we've kind of invited some more in. And of course, if you bring population in from the outside, they can generally come with a higher loyalty and a happiness as well. So you can kind of get things going like that. And of course, remember that we've got a radio station, so that radio station is spreading the good news out and about. We're gonna need. Well, what we're gonna have to do is push some workers to the bus station, because we do need to get that heating plant up and running. Sometimes it takes a little while for your workers to find their, you could say, reason for existing is probably a way to explain it. There we are. We've got the first buses coming in. They're all bunched up at the moment. We probably need to put an end station in there to get things going. What these should do is go down here, and we should get some workers into here so that we get the heating plant operational. I think I will put an end station in, because I'm going to find somewhere to put it. Let me just put an end station in. I should have planned one in while I was actually doing things. Trolley bus station. Probably put a small end station in. Yeah, just very quickly auto build this. Going. Heating plant. Stop you off there. Yep. What that will do is help spread out the buses. We've now got a heating plant. Sometimes it does take a little while for the game to kind of get into the groove, is probably the polite way of saying it. So we should have, we've still got over 21. So what we got to do now is start opening these blocks up so that the over 21s can flow in to our city. The reason I didn't do this immediately is that I wanted to make sure that the over 21s flowed into our existing town first, because of course we've done a little bit of dent to the productivity in that area. So we'll just let the over 21s flow into here. What that should do is drain these away. And you can see our population is now 7,723. Of course, if you haven't got the money to import immigrants, what you've got to do then is run the town in limited mode, is probably the polite way of saying it, where you're only providing the key services. So you're not going to have any industrial connections. You just need to get these key systems up and running and operational. You all on separate routes. That's better. How many are on this route? Yeah, all 3 now. Yeah, sometimes it can be a bit odd. I think what I did is I added these on as a thingy. So we get the workforce into there. So eventually the game will settle down a bit. And we get the workers into there. And what we're going to need to do now is start looking for people who are unemployed. At the moment, we've only got a population in here of, what's our population? 893, which is barely enough to be able to kind of support our general population. We could probably reduce you down to, we can probably reduce you down to 5. The school is good. There's no children outside the thing. Probably reduce the kindergarten down a bit. What I'm looking for is staff. Don't really want to take out that. Probably drop you down as well, because what we're looking for is to get staff to be able to probably push the loyalty up a little bit on that. Okay, we are now getting people coming in the cableway, which is what I wanted to do. So what we're going to do now is just set up our cableway. Now at the moment you can see that there's no actual cabins on the cableway, and also it's not turned on. So the first thing we're going to need to do is come in here, sort by capacity. We can buy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. As you can see, the maximum number is 37, but you don't need to get too carried away. And then the next thing you need to do is switch on the actual cableway. Basic mistake is forgetting to switch it on. And what you will see now, actually just pause the game because I didn't check. I just want to make sure all my oil storage, you're set to bitumen, you're set to fuel, you're set to bitumen, good. What you'll see now is the workers will come in by cable car, and of course what they will do is split with the fire station. Just make sure I've got some fire trucks in here as well. As I say, it will take a little while to build up and we've got our workers coming in here. Of course, we want all our surplus workers coming into the oil refinery. And you'll see we're now producing fuel, and that fuel will run into there. And then if I've got this set up properly, why is that not running out? To make sure I've built all the pipes. That pipe looks suspiciously like it might not be connected. Should be. Just do a quick check. Whoops. Yeah, it should be connected. What I will do is switch this off so that you can see the accumulation. It's probably down to the fact we've only produced 7 tons of fuel. That means, yeah, at the moment we're kind of sucking out the fuel from here. And we're probably getting some into there. What we will do is, your downside was setting your priorities one. Well, what we can do is turn off that. Go that way. We'll see if that will. That's pushing the bitumen that way. We're getting a bit of bitumen flowing into there now. Just switch them all on. This is output 1, this is output 2. Must admit, I don't really like the priority system. Yes, we're now starting to get a flow into there. And what I will show you at the moment is we come to here now. If we show the economy exports, see we've exported a little bit of bitumen, but if I switch this on now, and we'll just put this here, and just to show you what will happen is if we switch this on and just let the game run, you see that this tank will probably never fill up as well. This is enabled simply because what happens is that as soon as it comes into the bitumen flows into here, it will be exported across the border straight away. But what we might need to do is just let this start to build up. Of course, at the moment we're not really producing enough to drive our overall economy. Yeah, we got the oil there. We just need more workforce moving into here now. So again, don't rush to. Well, we could probably change the wherever distribution office for the bitumen, because we're not probably using that much in the way of bitumen. I can't remember who is actually, which one of these is you're delivering the oil. So it's probably this one that's picking up the bitumen from. Nope, it must be this one. I should have looked at the customs post first. Yeah, coal and bitumen. And what we need, delivering oil to. Let's find it. Yeah. So what we can tell it to do now is to load bitumen from there and remove that. Just to double check that we've got the right one. Yep. So what that means now is we're no longer importing bitumen, because we've got a supply there. And then when the train decides it needs some more, it will come up and actually get it. So we've now got here. Now, one thing I will say about cableways, let's come in here. Yeah, we probably need some more. So looking at this, we need some more, what we call it, cargo, passenger cars. I think this 12 is the biggest. So yeah, another 2, 3, 4. So what we want to do is build these up very slowly. If you're playing in realistic mode, where you can't auto purchase them at the actual shed itself, what you've got to do to get these cabins from the border to here is you buy them on the border, and then you get an open hole to haul them up to the here, and all you do is drop them off, and then they get added to that list here. See if you watch here, you'll see that we've still got 2 cabins in the station. So at the moment, we've got the capacity about right. If you've got cabins sat in the station, basically waiting to load, then you've got more than enough cars in there. If for some reason this is always empty, that's the cue to start buying some more. And what we will do now is come back here. Yeah, we're slowly building this workforce up. It will take a little while because let's see what our population now is for here. So we're just coming up to 1,000 workers, and of course what we do need to do is start getting our road crews operating out here so that we can keep expanding the town, because this is going to be the next priority, is getting the town expanded. And maybe, well, put that there. Probably could do with a asphalt footpath through to there. Oops, that's not asphalt footpath, that's a illuminated one. Probably connect that through there. Just what I'm trying to do at the moment is just making sure. Looks like these guys will be out of range, so let me just check something. We may have to put a footpath from there to there. We'll just purchase that. Yeah, that brings the footpath in range. It's right on the there. Yep. Of course, what we're going to need to do is bring on our medical university, because if you've got a medical university, what you can do then is come into here, and then if you want to populate your town a bit quicker, what you can do then is click this research to increase the birth rate. What that will do is give you a surge of new children, which will then, as they grow up, that surge will move through into your town here. Just have a look at the overall stats. Look at average productivity, 120%. That's simply because our loyalty is so high. I mean, we got a loyalty of 74%. We're not going to get above that, simply because to get higher, we've got to provide our workers with personal transport. But that's not on the agenda at the moment. We've got 169 unemployed. If we go to the actual unemployed, yeah, we've got a few people unemployed here, but we still got those unemployment hotspots down over here. We come over to here. Now, yeah, we got a few unemployment hotspots here. Now, what you can do is kind of start to tailor this city here with respect to what you want to do here. But there's another way that we could actually turn this to our advantage, and that is that we could put in some tourism here. Now, tourism is an interesting mechanic in the game. It's comes in here, and what you need to do is build a hotel. That's basically all you got to do, is build a hotel, put some attractions in. Now, what I would suggest is that, as in real life, try and mix in your tourism inside of your town, because you're gonna, with each one of these hotels here will need food, meat, and alcohol. And then once you start, then what you do after that is you start to put in some attractions, and then that gives your city an attraction rate. The one thing you do need with tourism is a good communication to the border. Now, you can bring in buses, you can use rail, and you can use airports as well if you want to bring your tourists in. But I think for the moment, what we'll do is we're going to get that there. And I'm going to move, what was it? It's an unemployment of 25. So what I'm going to do is, because we need the workers over here, what we're going to do is move another 30 workers over to here. But we're not going to allow the over 21s to flow back into the block. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, like that. But this is where, when you've got a new town, you can fine tune your actual town over here. Let's just see if there's any other problem areas. The key factor is not to strip away too much of the workforce. Otherwise, you could have a few problems. Actually, I've got a block here that we could probably steal some workers from as well. We're still about 20 from here. Because it said, whoops. Yeah, it says there's 28 here. That's right. Actually, these are right on top of the 25 workers without a job, 17 workers without a job. We're not, I don't feel that we're probably not getting enough people out to here. Let me just make sure all these industries are on. I'm going to push you up to max now. We've kind of maxed out all our workforce now. Because of course what we really want here is our industry going quite well. In fact, actually, how much money are we making? We're doing well with clothes. Bitumen, kind of not. We only exported 22 tons of bitumen, but more importantly, we're still importing fuel. So what we probably need to do now is come here. Probably the first step we need to do is pick you up, put you onto there as a pickup point, and then remove you from the custom shed. Again, when you bring online something like this, you need to kind of, yeah, I think we're producing enough now to be going on with. So the next thing we want to find is our other shed, like this, and you're picking up fuel now, so what we'll do now is put you onto here, and you can pick up fuel from here. So what that means is our costs, which are import costs now, that cost in fuel 30, which is running at, well, this year so far is 314,000, because we're now producing our own fuel. That's another cost that comes off the economy, and we will start to, so you see, you don't need that many people working. The key factor with the oil refinery is to have this steady flow of workforce coming in all the time. And this is the advantage of using a cableway, that you've got these people coming in every so often, dropping off. There's only one on that one or two on that, and what these are doing is just ensuring that you've got constant workforce in here. So if you want an industry where you want constant workforce, always look at the possibilities of using cableways, because what this means is you don't get the stop-start effect that you would get if you were using trains or any other route. And eventually, if you can build this up and get enough kind of cars on here, you can get it to the point where this is running virtually at 90% of the time, and things are going quite well. Now, the other potential problem we're going to have is the getting the oil supply in now, because as this production increases, the amount of oil that we're going to be bringing in will kind of shrink a little bit. So we got a little bit of unemployment in here. So yeah, you can see we've got there's no more gondolas, so what we can do is add another couple. So we've only got 12 out of 37, so we can just keep pushing this up slowly. Okay, I think I've now covered what I wanted to do in the video. So, and I don't want to go into another subject. So this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. Any questions, comments, feel free to put it in the video description. The other thing I will mention is that we're now reaching a point where I'm not exactly sure where I can take this series without it becoming a full-length gameplay, which is what I don't want to do. So what I will say is that if you want me to talk about any specific feature of the game, feel free to put it in the comments, and I'll see if I can wind it into the overall series. But I think this series is actually coming to an end. So until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.